Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Monet the creator and I'm so excited to be bringing you guys another video. Today we're going to be talking about surviving my second year, or kind of like recapping my second year of graduate school. So a quick reminder about where I'm at and everything. If you're new to this channel, hello, welcome. My name is Ebony Monet. I am a third year now, which is so crazy to think. I'm a third year in Harvard's Biological and Biomedical Sciences PhD research program. So that means I am a doctoral candidate at this moment. And I am currently working at Boston Children's Hospital doing my research project and working on my thesis. I'm really doing this video today as a check-in to see how far I have come from last year, as well as to keep you guys updated and give you some awesome tips on surviving your second year of grad school. So first, I actually want to start with talking about some things that really prepared me to work on my science and my thesis project. And these things also really helped me understand and get into my science. So grant applications. I applied for 3 large-scale grants and then a couple of small grants that I came across in passing. I applied first for the NSF, or the National Science Foundation, GRFP, Graduate Research Fellowship Program. I was not awarded that grant, but that was the first one that was in this whole cycle of grants that I did, and it really helped me get in the mindset of grant writing and writing my proposal for my qualifying exam, which I will touch on in just a few minutes. After the NSF, I submitted my Gilliam Fellowship. So that is a HHMI, or Howard Hughes Medical Institute, more private fellowship foundation. I was also not awarded this fellowship. However, I was selected as an honorable mention, which is honestly an honor, because if you guys haven't heard about it, the structure of evaluating applications drastically changed this last year. So honestly, it was really an honor to even have been considered for the award. But looking back on it, I'm also really glad that I was not awarded it, because I don't think it would have really been the best option for me, which I'll revisit that at the end of the video. And then lastly, I applied for the NINDS Diversity Supplement, or the National Institute for Neurological Disorders and Strokes Diversity Supplement. That is a supplement to a grant my lab already has at this moment. The NINDS is also a subsector of the NIH, or the National Institute of Health. Like I said, I also applied for some other really random scholarship opportunities, honestly just to get my feet wet and see what other options may be available for me. But all in all, each one of these grants that I applied to really helped me identify what are the weak points in my project, what do I need to build, how do I need to explain this, how can I better explain what my career goals are. Working on each one of these applications, I started to realize that I had the opportunity to think about what are the resources and things that are available at my institution that I could take advantage of and better prepare me for my career. In addition to the fact that doing the NSF and the Gilliam Fellowship in particular really helped me prepare for my qualifying exam that took place back in February, and it really just helped me critically think about the way I was designing my experiment and explaining it to others, as well as getting very clear about the rationale behind the project and why it is significant to others. Alright, and moving on to the qualifying exam. In our program, the qualifying exam is taken in our second year. That might not be the case in all programs, or some programs may have a split qualifying exam where they take 2 different types of exams. So first and foremost, like I said, all of the grants that I applied for over this last cycle really helped me critically think about my qualifying exam and preparing for candidacy. It really made me think about what I wanted to do for my thesis, how I wanted to build a project, what kinds of markers I would want to look at, how I want to look at my tissue, what experimental methods I want to use. All of those things really got fleshed out each time I was working on these grant applications. If I would recommend anything to a second year graduate student that's preparing for the qualifying exam, is even if it's just one, just apply for a grant. It forces you to work with a deadline. It forces you to think through how you're explaining your experiment. And it also forces you to think about how is what I'm doing now going to help propel me into my scientific career in the future. In addition to that, during my qualifying exam experience and preparing for it, I really experienced this shift in my mindset when it comes to the doctoral degree and completing this degree. I posted a few videos already on preparing for my qualifying exam, the gap year, some different trials that I have been experiencing since being in a graduate program. But I do believe that one of the biggest benefits of this last year is me learning how to shift my mindset. And I really love personal development, so I started learning about things such as the growth mindset and really learning how to adapt that to my scientific work versus trying to have a fixed mindset about my skills and my ability to conduct my science. I also think it's very important to have a willingness to pivot or adjust as needed. That is so important in the sciences because you never really know what direction your project is going to go, and whatever is able to work, you should really just keep going down that path. I also talked about this during my PQE experience video, but it's really important for us to think about, I do not know everything now. Being in graduate school is an opportunity to continue to learn and continue to expand our mind. And so I think it's very important for us to recognize what we do know instead of what we don't know. Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be a pursuit of knowledge and more that you can know. One way that I approached my qualifying exam was thinking about, in this moment, I know what I know. And tomorrow I'll learn something new, and 6 months from now I'll know even more. But the truth is, I can't beat myself up for what I don't know 6 months from now in the future. So it all comes with time and giving ourselves the patience and the grace to keep learning and continuing to try our best despite not knowing everything and being open to continue to learn. I would definitely recommend checking out my other videos where I've touched on these topics because yeah, they're just extremely helpful, and even for me, it was very releasing getting all of those things and that information out there to you guys. So the third thing that I would say I spent a lot of my second year focusing on is really trying to get clear about what it is I want to do after my PhD. And again, this came from the experience of writing all these grants and having to talk about what my goals are post the PhD. And as I said, I've been really trying to take advantage of what resources I may have either at my institution or in the local area that I could really take advantage of. So a couple of examples of the things that I have found to help me out in my journey. I found out recently about the Harvard Peer Coaching Initiative. So this is going to be a great opportunity for me to work one-on-one with another student, and we'll be basically coaching each other throughout the semester, as well as going to some different workshops and things to try to get the coaching mindset and coaching training down for me, which I'm extremely excited about. This past summer, I actually took this entrepreneurial course, and it was a pilot course. It was only 2 weeks long, and it was one of the most rewarding things I have done since being up here. It really just charged me to think differently and get very excited about what things I am passionate about, on top of getting to talk to a different audience about the things that I'm interested in. It really helped me also see the significance in the passion in the work that I have been doing, and recognizing that other people do see my work and do see and appreciate what I am trying to do for people in the STEM career field. An additional organization that I'm really excited to get involved with is the iLab. The iLab, or the Innovation Lab, is the entrepreneurial hub here at Harvard, and I'm really excited to work with them and see what type of mentorship or other guidance I might be able to receive in regards to me starting my own entrepreneurial journey. And again, I think that it's very important to circle back to what I mentioned about that grant earlier in the video. I've really been having to find what opportunities are right for me in this stage of my career. And like I mentioned, I wasn't rewarded one of the fellowships that I was really hoping for. There's a lot involved in getting this fellowship, a lot of mentorship and networking opportunities. However, I really believe that the fact that I did not receive this fellowship is really just a redirection in what I should be focusing on to do. And I think sometimes whenever it boils down to it, we apply for these kinds of opportunities trying to look for something that's going to provide resources that are relevant to what we want to do. However, we don't really know if those programs have the resources or will be supportive of the things that we have in our path or what we want to put in our path. And so I reflected a lot on this and thought about the fact that although it would have been great, I don't think it would have been exactly what I was looking for. I would have gotten the networking, I would have gotten some different opportunities that I won't have access to now, but I also believe that it's an opportunity for me to take that time that would have been spent on that program and put it towards something that I know will benefit me, that I know will help me keep moving forward in my career path. All right, so a few other events that took place during my second year. First and foremost, I had my first summer student. So I co-mentored a student from a local community college with another graduate student in my lab. And it was honestly so rewarding seeing her face light up whenever she would see her data or whenever she would see the different techniques that we used in the lab, and then watching her literally stay in the lab and get so engaged with all of this that she's helping other people in our lab with their experiments. It's honestly been so rewarding, and I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity to mentor my first summer student. I also had my first DAC, or Dissertation Advisory Committee meeting. That's honestly something that I should record another video about, so stay tuned for that. In the biosciences, it's very common for us to have regularly scheduled DAC meetings to check in with our dissertation group. And it's really to give project updates and to get some help on direction for our project, or to ask questions, whatever the case may be. My first DAC went extremely well. I will say that our program has us do our DAC not too long after our qualifying exam. There wasn't that much to update my committee about, but I'm really excited to meet with them again in March of next year and give them some more updates on how my project has been going. All right, and just some really quick personal updates, or at least the ones that I do want to mention on this video today. Self-love and self-confidence. Those are two areas that I have been, I feel like, stumbling with over the last few years, but this year I really started focusing more on that, and I'm excited to see where I am next year as I keep implementing and practicing my different self-care and self-love techniques that I have built, as well as recognizing and giving myself the credit on how hard I work. Like, that is something that is very hard for me, and I think it also impacts my confidence. So I'm really excited to see how this next year goes and keep working on those skills as well. And again, I realize that some opportunities are not for me, and it's really about finding what opportunities are best to help me. Really just rejection showing up as redirection, and realizing that it's okay that I don't receive those opportunities. I do believe that some things are meant to happen and some things aren't. I strongly believe that reclaiming that time of not receiving these other grant awards in the future, I expect myself to really see how not receiving these grants and being able to focus on other areas of my career and professional development will really help me shine and still be successful despite the fact of not receiving those grants. And lastly, I really got more clear about what my dream career is and what kind of path I can take to get there. And I'm still seeing that there are many ways for me to do what I aim to do. I have a better idea of what direction I am heading with all of this, and I'm really excited to be bringing that to you guys sometime soon. And so I wanted to actually end this video with two last sections. First, I wanted to talk about some of the goals that I have for myself for this upcoming year. And second, I would like to share a couple of tips from one of my friends and myself in approaching your second year of graduate school and doing it successfully. So some of my goals for this upcoming year. First, I really want to learn how to explain my science to other people. And when I say other people, I mean people that come from a variety of backgrounds and have a variety of knowledge levels of bioscience. And so I want to be able to explain it to someone who doesn't know what a cell is. I also want to be able to explain it to a neuroscientist. It's really important for me to learn what kind of words are most helpful for explaining to different levels or education levels when it comes to the biosciences. And I really want to be able to explain why it's important, and give more analogies to my project that will help someone that isn't familiar with the science kind of piece some things together. Related to that is I really want to get better at being able to pitch myself and talk about what services and help I'm looking to give to others. So I'll be working on that through a couple of different entrepreneurial resources through Harvard, as well as just training my skills as a coach. And the last thing that I really want to improve is my time management and productivity. And so time management is a very interesting topic for me, because it's not that I'm not able to manage my time, it's that I over manage my time. And I set such a high expectation sometimes that I'm very disappointed when I don't finish things. But in reality, there's so many things that I did finish. So again, trying to see that glass half full mindset. What have I already done? I also want to work on what my perception is of productivity, because I've been in the sciences so long. Productivity means something different for each person, but as someone who's also looking to be an entrepreneur and really trying to understand what productivity looks like for me, especially with my career goals and the different level of commitment that I'll have to different areas of my life, quite honestly. And on to some tips for success. First, develop your support system of peers or mentors at the institution. Of course, these don't have to be at the institution. These could be friends in the local area. This could be anyone, but someone that is willing to support you and be there to hear you out, and someone that's able to listen to different things that you might be going through. They might not be able to tell you exactly what to do or know the best advice, but sometimes just speaking out loud and having someone as a sounding board is extremely helpful in our own thought processing. Not to mention, we're PhDs, we're problem solvers, like we want to get it done. We got the thought processing there. Sometimes it's just about having someone else give another perspective, or just speaking out loud more so about what we have going on. And very related to that, it is so hard to maintain a social life once you are out of your first year. Like, you are mainly just going to your research lab, you're likely not in classes anymore, and you don't really see your peers almost at all. Me and one of my good friends both recommended that you should plan intentionally events, hangouts, trips, whatever it might be, with your friends, so that you can have that outlet of that support system and just being able to have fun with people that you love. One of my huge suggestions is to stand your ground and be thorough. And maybe I'll explain this in more detail in another video, but whenever you recognize in yourself that there's something that you're very passionate about and something that you want to do, and it would really be impactful towards building your career or professional development, personal development, wherever it may be, I highly recommend you stand your ground, be vocal about it, tell your PI what kind of resources you need, or whatever person in your program may have those kinds of resources. Definitely let them know what you're looking for. And I think it's very important to choose the right people, because there are tons of people that you can talk to. Not everyone is going to be super supportive, and you need to find people who are supportive of your goals or what things you may need. Second to that, I highly recommend being thorough. Like, I recommend, if you know what kind of organization you want to work for, like, definitely talk about that in your grant application, or talk about that with your PI. Another tip from one of my friends that I also talked about a little bit in my qualifying exam video: make sure you're setting deadlines with yourself and you're scheduling meetings to practice, whether that be with your PI, with your peers, with people in your lab. Practice your qualifying exam. Like, literally just get it out there, get the words out there, and try. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to talk about your science, for sure. And these deadlines also help you see progress along the way as you're preparing for your qualifying exam. And you can get feedback with plenty of time to incorporate that feedback before you're actually giving your presentation to your committee members. Make sure you tell those that are attending those practice sessions with you to ask as many questions as they can and give you as much feedback as possible, because truly and honestly, it just prepares you for the exam itself. We both also recommend having a backup slide. So if there's a question that's very relevant and likely to be asked, make sure you have a slide that talks about that topic, but you can actually make it a hidden slide in PowerPoint. For example, I believe for my qualifying exam, I might have had between 60 and 80 final slides, and about 30 of those slides were hidden slides. And the last tip that, again, I would have to recommend is to explore your institution's resources and see what way your institution or university may be able to support you along your journey as you're looking for professional or personal development tools. So I'm going to try to link in the description box some of the videos that are relevant to this video. Make sure you follow me on my other socials. I'm definitely posting more on my TikTok, Instagram, lots of other things about both my course and my business, my PhD experience thus far. So definitely make sure you're following me on all platforms at Monet the Creator. Also, make sure you check out my podcast, Navigating the Hidden Curriculum. I have some really awesome episodes coming out soon, so stick around for that. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate you watching this video, and I hope you were able to find it helpful. I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.